New revelations in the Russia investigation. Documents show that a member of special counsel Robert Mueller's team thought that the Russia collusion probe was a, quote, dead end, and that the prosecution of Michael Flynn was part of an attitude to get Trump. And Attorney General Bill Barr revealing that a primary source of the Steele dossier was investigated for suspected ties to Russia. President Trump weighed in on this earlier.
You see the stuff that just came out on Russia? So we caught him cold, Max. We caught him cold. It was a whole conspiracy, and it was the worst thing anyone's ever seen, and it was a takedown. They were the ones conspired. They got caught. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. We went through 3 years of crap.
Crap indeed. Dana, do you think that there is room with less than 40 days out for the election to make the, quote, Russia hoax a plot line again for voters going to the polls on November 3rd and before? Or is this just what Trump loves to talk about?
Well, I think that, one, I think you should talk about it because there's new information. I want to see the entire report,
right,
because I feel like when things are dripped out like this, that like next week, Jesse says there'll be more documents on Monday. We'll have more. Maybe then by the time it comes out, there's yet another one that disavows that part. So when it drips and drabs, I don't love it. But I do think that it's pretty serious stuff. And it needs to be, I'm glad that they're investigating it. Will it affect the election? I feel like those right, voters are already baked in. So I don't know how much of a difference it will make in actual votes.
Yeah, because we are seeing in this election versus 2016 that there are basically no undecideds left, right? It's about 90 to 92% of Americans know what they're doing. So I want to turn it to you, Jesse. We've talked about Michael.
Well, I'm undecided. I'm waiting for the debates.
Yeah.
Let's see how those shake.
You want to see how Chris Wallace does?
Yeah,
and see who impresses you?
Here's what I saw. This is what we found out. Because what they did was they unredacted the little footnote in the IG report. So it turns out Hillary Clinton paid for foreign interference in an election from Russia. Because the primary source for the Steele dossier was a suspected Russian spy. How do we know that? The FBI investigated the guy for 3 years for being a suspected Russian spy. So then the FBI knows he's a suspected Russian spy. They hide it from the court. They hide from the court that Hillary paid for the dossier, and then they doctored evidence to get the warrant. That's kind of a big deal. Then all those other interviews from the FBI agent who was on the Mueller team and some of the text messages show there was no evidence of collusion the entire time, and that the Mueller team was out to get Trump from the beginning, and that General Flynn, they had nothing on Flynn. They even looked into his finances without a warrant, using national security letters. They had nothing on Flynn, and some of the FBI agents were actually so nervous they took out an insurance policy because they thought the thing was going to get turned around into a criminal investigation against them because they were breaking so many laws. And they were joking about destroying their iPhones. That's pretty funny. And all this time, the media has been reporting the Russia disinformation. How stupid are they?
So my favorite thing about doing this show is that I don't even have to ask you a question, and you're just going to tell everybody what you think about it. Greg, I see you nodding, and you did hear Hillary Clinton, your favorite name to be mentioned. So part of, in these new documents, it's revealed that Durham is going to be looking at the Clinton Foundation again, an entity that has been investigated more than anything else that I can think of. Where do you think something like that goes? And do you think that voters have moved on from talking about the Clintons? I understand she's on TV, and I know that that annoys you. But people are looking.
How do you know what I know, Jessica?
Because you told me in the A block.
No, I said I love it.
Oh, well.
Okay.
It gives you material.
What I like is that now you, a Democrat, are concerned that viewers are getting tired of this story. 4 years, you were pushing it down our throats, and now it's like, oh, this Russian business, isn't it time to move on? Oh, Dana, do we really need to talk about this? You guys have been making us talk about it every day, so sorry, now you're gonna eat the breakfast that we've been eating. By the way, Jessica, just for today, can I call you Juan? Please, just for now. So, Juan, how does it feel to be pushing this obstruction and collusion accusation, only to find out that it's your side that had been doing it all along? You were it was your group behind the Russian collusion, not the Republicans and not Trump. That's got to eat you up inside, Juan. I know Juan can't hear me, so I'm going to go even further. We now have concrete evidence of a coup attempt. right? This is a coup attempt, and we were all supposed to say, don't say coup, don't say coup, that's crossing the line. Well, now we can say coup. Coup, Marilyn McCoo and Billy Davis Jr. All right, the big question is, Juan, will the media do two things? Take a moment of self-reflection?
No.
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 How about backing up the car and reversing direction and paying amends by investigating this news story, which is what a fair and balanced journalist would do? No.
They aren't even covering it.
Yeah.
Okay, so Juan would go.
You're now Jessica.
Greg.
You're now okay. Go.
But I did the thing, and like, what a load of crap.
Yeah.
I mean,
can't-
if you
no,
want to
have
talk,
say, you have to say, I can't believe this table.
I wish there was a table, but I actually really can't believe this table. And if you want to talk about new evidence coming out, let's talk about Andrew Weissman's book, where he says actually.
Oh, yeah, the trustworthy
Oh,
Andrew Weissman,
yeah.
who is one of the
Excuse
worst,
me,
most corrupt prosecutors in the entire country. Look, can we get the $32 million that was spent on the special counsel investigation back to the taxpayers? I
Yeah.
mean, the fact that this happened, even though they knew there was nothing there, and the trust that was broken between the American people and things like, I don't know, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, which is supposed to protect people and not be used as a political weapon against political opponents that you don't like. And people are wondering, well, you asked the question, does this affect voters? Well, if Joe Biden is going to try and portray himself as someone who has a deep 40-year Washington record, he was part of the Obama administration, which carried this out. There was a meeting in the Oval Office on January 5th about these things. So, yes, it has to do with government corruption, and President Trump still portraying himself as an outsider who isn't involved in all of the corruption of D.C., which has turned into government being weaponized against conservatives and political opponents under the Obama administration, which happened multiple times in a number of ways.
Okay, we are out of time, so I can't go point by point. But if you're concerned about taxpayer dollars, President Trump can take the weekend off golfing. That'll save you millions, and then you can
How
have
is
your
golf
Mueller money
destroying
back.
the country and
It's not
tearing
about. It
people
didn't
apart?
I thought we
destroy
were
the
out of
country.
time.
Well, I'm in charge, actually.
Yeah, but I want to do fast as 7.
The fastest
feeling
7 is
outnumbered.
up next.